Hey guys, so I thought that it would be helpful for me to make a video since I haven't made one addressing this topic for a couple years, I want to say, and that is some helpful tips for new CNAs because I have a lot of people who have been reaching out to me lately who are either still in CNA training or they just graduated or completed their CNA training program and now they're getting ready to start their first jobs. So I feel like it would be helpful to give these tips. I have 6 of them, but all of them are pretty helpful, and honestly I wish that people would have told me some of these tips before I started my first CNA job, because I feel like I would have avoided a lot of issues that I had from the get-go. As usual, sorry I keep coughing. I have a cough tonight for some reason, but as usual, you guys know that I make notes, so I have them all written down in my little handy dandy notebook. So like I said, there's 6 tips and I'm just gonna get right into them so then this video doesn't turn out to be super long. My first tip is to carry a notepad or a little notebook in your pocket. I will show you what I have. Let me close it first because I have resident information written down. I have this. It fits perfectly in my scrub pocket. I got it from Dollar General. They came in a pack of 3, so I use that to write down notes on my assignment, things that I need to know, write down the room numbers that I have and things like that, and it's just really helpful. And then I also make a little list of what needs to be done, and then as I finish it I check it off, so then I know that it's been done, and then I don't second guess what's been done and what hasn't been done, and then I don't have to go back and forth room to room trying to figure out, okay, who did I change, who did I not change yet, because it's all written down and checked off. Number 2 is make a supply kit to use throughout your shift. Now this is very dependent on your facility. The facility that I work at now does not want us to have supply kits, and basically what a supply kit is before on the long-term care unit here, certain CNAs would have a little box, or they would use one of the basins that we do bed baths with, and they would put the barrier creams and lotions and body wash and toothpaste, toothbrushes, anything extra briefs of every size, extra gloves, extra linens, things like that. Now this facility that I work at, they wanted us to stop doing that because they feel like they don't want all that extra stuff in people's rooms, so they don't allow us to have supply kits. But you guys get the gist of what I'm talking about. It's just basically to make sure that you have everything that you need, so then you don't have to run around looking for things when you're trying to provide care. The third tip that I have is to read the care card as soon as you find out what your assignment is. The facility that I work at does not have care cards right now. I believe they're trying to make new ones, but the entire time that I have worked here, we have not had care cards. So basically what is on the care card, if you are not familiar with it, is all of the information that you need to know about your residents. So whether they're continent, incontinent, if they're 1 assist, 2 assist, totally dependent, if they need a sit to stand, if they need a Hoyer, if they're NPO, basically all the information that you need to know is going to be in there. It's not going to give their medical history and things like that, but it is going to tell you if they have dementia, if they need braces or splints on when you transfer them, things like that is going to be in the care card. So make sure that you read the care cards and stick to what is in the care cards. Because whenever you have your residents, you need to know like who needs what sort of assistance. You know, you need to know these things, so it's good to get that information right away. Tip number 4 is to watch experienced CNAs to see how they manage their time. And it's not that you necessarily have to do what they do, but it will give you an idea of how to like sort out your own routine once you get into the swing of things and once you're on your own. Because new CNAs, you're going to be on orientation for longer than those CNAs who are hired that have already worked as a CNA in other places. And don't hate orientation. Just take it as a learning experience and soak it up, because when you're on your own, you will not have as much help as you have when you're on orientation still. But you know, like certain CNAs are all over the place, and I like to have a routine, so then I am not running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I know what needs to be done and when, and I actually, in my little notebook, I write down like what time I'm gonna do my rounds. So I do my rounds here, I work 10 to 6, I do a round when I come in. So my rounds are 10, 12, 2, and 4 is when I start my final rounds. And that is dependent on what unit I'm on, because certain units I'm assigned more residents. So certain units I will start at 3:30 instead of 4, just because I need to make sure that I have enough time to get through everybody. But just watch and see. It'll help you build your own routine later on. Number 5 is AM or PM care, which, if you don't know what that is, it's basically washing their face, brushing their teeth, dressing, combing, brushing their hair, things like that can be done when the resident is going to the bathroom. Well, not necessarily while they're going to the bathroom can they brush their teeth and things like that, but you get the idea. When the resident is sitting on the toilet, you can be getting them dressed. You know, you can be combing their hair, brushing their hair, putting their shoes on. You can do all of those things while they're on the toilet, and it will save you a lot of time. So then, you know, when they get done using the toilet, then you can bring them right over to the sink, have them brush their teeth, wash their hands and all that stuff, and then when you're done in the bathroom, they're good to go for the day, or they're good to go to bed. And last but not least, the last tip is to stock your rooms at the beginning of your shift, so then you have everything you need and you're not running around like crazy. I have done it so many times since I started working here that now I know to go into all my rooms, check and make sure that there's briefs and gloves and, you know, barrier creams and things like that, and wipes, because this facility does use wipes. I have worked at other nursing homes that they don't use wipes, they use washcloths to wipe people. So we use wipes here, but I don't know. Just make sure that you have everything you need. I also check like the isolation hangers that are on the doors. I check and make sure that there's masks and shoe covers and gloves and gowns and anything else that you might need, because it's better to have it beforehand instead of realizing that you don't have it when you're already wearing all the isolation stuff, and then you have to take all the isolation stuff off and go find it and then put all the isolation stuff back on to go back in the room that you just left. So it's better to just make sure that you have everything you need ahead of time, so then you're prepared and you're ready to deal with whatever you need to deal with when you're in the room. So those are my tips. Sorry this video turned out to be a little bit longer than I intended, but I hope you guys find this helpful. If there's any other tips or advice that I can give you, any questions you might have, feel free to ask me. You guys know I'm an open book and I am more than happy to help if I'm able to. So just send me a message or leave your question in the comments. And with that being said, that's all I have for right now. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will talk to you guys again in my next video.